What are you holding back today? And what might happen if you brought it just as you are?
Wow. That's quite a question to start with, isn't it? Really makes you think.
It does. And it's right at the heart of what we're exploring in this deep dive.
Yeah, this whole idea of, well, authentic faith. What does it actually mean to show up to God, maybe to others, even just, to
Mhm.
yourself without the masks,
Yeah.
without pretending?
Exactly. So our aim here is to really unpack some key insights from the material we've looked at. And honestly, it challenges some pretty common ideas about faith,
Hmm.
pushes towards vulnerability.
It really does. And the material anchors this whole thing in a really powerful piece of scripture. It's Hebrews 4.16.
Right. Remind us what that says.
It says, "Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need."
Approach
Yeah.
with confidence. The material labels it a bold invitation. And, my first reaction was, okay, confidence.
Mm.
What kind of confidence? Like confidence that I've got it all together. Because, well, that feels unattainable sometimes.
That's the key point the material makes, this confidence. It's not about perfection. It's the confidence to come as you are, flaws and all.
Flaws and all, okay.
Yeah, showing up exactly where you're at, with the struggles, the doubts, the messiness, the pain, whatever it is.
So it's less confidence in myself and more confidence in the reception, in the welcome.
You've got it. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. The material is really clear.
Yeah.
You don't need the pretense. Why? Because God already knows it all anyway.
Right.
And the response waiting isn't judgment, it's mercy, it's grace. That grace being that, undeserved favor, that freely given love, especially when you feel you least deserve it.
Wow. Okay, that changes things. How we might typically think about faith, I mean, because the material says point blank, faith isn't about pretending to be perfect.
Right. It's a total reframe.
Yeah.
So if faith isn't presenting this polished image,
Mm.
what is it?
Good question. What does the material say?
It says faith is about trusting that you're loved in your imperfection. That's the core of authentic faith. It's choosing honest faith. No more pretense.
Trusting you're loved in your imperfection. Okay. That feels possible. Relatable even. And what happens when you actually do that, when you approach honestly?
Well, according to the material, it opens the door to real healing and deep relationship.
Healing and relationship. Okay, let's unpack those a bit. Healing here means
Not just physical, obviously. It's about becoming whole, sound, emotionally, spiritually sound, finding restoration,
got it, and relationship.
real connection, that genuine back and forth, which, you can't really have if you're hiding the real you, can you?
No, you really can't. That makes perfect sense. And this isn't just theory, right? The material gives some pretty powerful recent examples from 2025, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Real world stuff like that young mother in the U.S., her blog post, Praying in the Mess.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that. It went viral, didn't it?
Oh,
She
wait.
wasn't writing these, like, perfectly crafted prayers.
Not at all. It was raw. Her real conversations with God smack in the middle of anxiety, the chaos of parenting, just completely honest.
And people responded to that.
Massively. Her authenticity, her vulnerability, that willingness to just show up as she was, it resonated with thousands. People saw themselves in her struggle.
Wow. And there was another one, the worship leader in Brazil.
Yes,
Oh.
that story is also incredibly moving. He went live online right after some kind of big setback, and he was visibly upset. Tears.
Live, while upset.
Yeah. He was sharing scripture, singing songs, sure. But from his living room, looking wrecked. The core of it was his honesty about his emotional state.
And didn't he say something like just admitting he wasn't doing okay?
He did. He literally said, "I'm not okay." Imagine saying that publicly.
That takes guts. Serious vulnerability.
Incredible vulnerability. But then, crucially, he immediately followed it with, "But I know where to go."
So it wasn't just despair.
No, it was acknowledging the pain, the not okayness, but simultaneously turning towards God with it, not pretending it wasn't there.
And that had a ripple effect.
Huge. It sparked this wave of similar stories online. People started using the hashtag come as you are. It just took off.
So that vulnerability, that openness, it wasn't just for him. It gave others permission almost.
Exactly. It shows the power in it. It doesn't just deepen your own connection. It creates space for community, for shared honesty. It makes that ancient invitation from Hebrews feel very present, very now.
Yeah, it really brings it home, which kind of leads us to the main takeaway from all this material, doesn't it? The central point.
It does. And it's actually beautifully simple when you boil it down. The core message is this: God isn't looking for polished perfection. He's calling you to bring your real self into his real grace.
Your real self into his real grace. That feels liberating.
Doesn't it? It cuts right through that pressure, that feeling that we need to clean ourselves up first, get presentable before we approach anything sacred.
Yeah, it just reinforces that authenticity is what matters, not performance.
Totally. It shifts the focus away from how well we're doing and onto God's constant, unwavering welcome, his mercy and grace always available.
Okay, so let's recap quickly. We started with Hebrews 4:16, that bold invitation to come with confidence.
Which means coming as you are, flaws and all, no need to pretend.
Right. And faith isn't about being perfect, but about trusting you're loved in your imperfection.
And that trust, that honest approach, opens the door to real healing and genuine relationship.
And we saw that lived out in those recent examples. The blogger, the worship leader, showing the incredible power of vulnerability. That hashtag come as your idea.
It all circles back, really, back to that very first question. What are we holding back? What parts of ourselves are we trying to hide or fix first?
Yeah, and it leaves us, and maybe you listening, with that same question to carry forward. What are you holding back today, and what might happen if you brought it, just as you are?